Hello from Pavilion Central. I'm Superintendent Kate Hoffman, and I'm joined today by our business official, Donald Childs. We have finished preparations for our annual budget hearing, which will be on Monday, May 12th at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. The budget hearing is also held about a week before the school budget vote, which is on Tuesday, May 20th this year. And we are being filmed today by Amanda Shaw, our wonderful PR person. So thank you, Amanda. We've decided to recreate the budget hearing presentation in video form for those people who have an interest in learning more about the school's budget, but who may not be able to attend the annual budget meeting next week. So we hope you find this informative and helpful. And if you really enjoy it, you can come on the 12th to see us do it again in person. So we will pull up our slides from here. So today we'll be reviewing the proposed budget. We'll talk about our budget development process and provide you with some fast facts about the budget. As of today, Wednesday, May 7th, however, we do not have a New York State budget, and I'm hoping that will change before this video is released. So fingers crossed on that. All the information presented here can be found in the budget newsletter, which will be in your mailboxes very soon. If at any time you have questions or comments about the budget, please email us at the address shown on the slides, comments@pavilioncsd.org. Mr. Childs or I will respond to any questions. In our roles as school officials, we strive to demonstrate fiscal responsibility with the community's tax dollars. We ensure that the allocation of resources support the district's vision and mission, and we look to preserve and enhance programming to provide opportunities for our students to excel inside and outside of the classroom. These are the district's strategic priorities. They further define and guide us in our responsibilities to our students and community. So how do these relate to budgeting? We rely on our core values reflected in these strategic priorities to help guide the district when making decisions about all aspects of our school, including the budget. We are budgeting with the future in mind here at Pavilion. For 2 years now, there's been discussion and attention drawn to New York State's funding of public schools. You've probably heard legislators use phrases like foundation aid, safe harmless, and declining enrollment. Across the state, school enrollment has dropped over the years. The formula for projecting state aid, what we term as foundation aid, was created 18 years ago, before significant enrollment declines, before a 2% tax cap, and in a time where schools' main responsibility was to focus on the academic preparation of our students. Times have changed, but the way schools are funded still has not. Our general operating aid has been pretty much stagnant for 2 years now. We do not see a windfall coming our way anytime soon, and as such, we've been taking steps to reduce our expenditures to keep our school financially healthy. We know that Pavilion taxpayers cannot carry the burden of inflation on their own. As such, you'll see that we continue to reduce staffing positions through attrition. We are carefully aligning our staff with our current enrollment, which is at 635 students, including our UPK. Now some fast facts for the proposed budget. The proposed budget for the 2025-2026 school year is $19,426,745, a year-to-year increase of 1.3% or $248,667. And our tax levy increase is 3.5%. I'm going to ask Mr. Childs to talk about the tax levy and the tax cap.
So each year we have to do an annual tax cap calculation. We always refer to this as the 2% tax levy cap that the state has enacted. It's a multi-step formula, and each year yields a different number for each different entity calculating it. This year we calculated our tax cap, and it is 4.41%. And in discussions with the board has made a decision not to go to the maximum amount. They're choosing to go out with a tax levy increase of 3.5%. And it's just part of the budget responsibilities of exercising fiscal responsibility with school community tax dollars.
This budget also includes a funds for a $100,000 capital outlay exception project and the cost of the annual bus garage lease. And finally, you'll see 4 propositions on the ballot when you come to vote this year. The first 2 propositions are asking you to vote on the school budget and to elect 2 members to our Board of Education. The third and fourth propositions involve the Howardell Memorial Public Library. School districts are required by law to assist their local libraries on their ballots. This can be a little confusing because the school is a separate entity from the public library. However, this arrangement really does help the public library piggyback on our process, which saves them money and saves our community members from having to attend two separate votes. So you'll notice that propositions 3 and 4 are for the Howell Memorial Public Library. You'll be asked to vote on the library tax levy and the library trustees. And I just want to add a recent Daily News article about school budgets mentioned that our school was raising the library tax levy. This is incorrect. The district does not set the library tax levy. That is done by the library. It is just we hold their vote for them. Now let's talk about some changes for the 25-26 school year. As you can see, we have several reductions this school year due to retirements and other open positions we will not fill. We have a retirement in the English department that will not be filled. We have one retirement in the elementary special education department that will not be filled. We have one elementary response to intervention position that will not be filled, an open position there. And we have an open elementary classroom position that will not be filled. As noted here, there may be other changes to positions once we have an actual budget from the state, but either way, our spending will not change. The budget is set at $19,426,745. And for years at Pavilion, looking at these changes, we've been enjoying private school class sizes in our public school. So when I was a teacher here, not that long ago, our class sizes range from 20 to 24 students, and now our class sizes range from 12 to 17. So we've got some room to make some changes in this area while still keeping our commitment to the individualized attention that our students enjoy now. Here is our proposed budget. You can see that we have a 1.3% increase in costs, which translates to an increase of $248,667. And now I'm going to turn some things over to Mr. Childs as we delve deeper into our revenues, expenditures, and the three-part budget.
As you can see from the slide, we're showing our projected revenues for next year, and we're increasing the budget by $248,667, and that represents a 1.3% increase in the overall budget. And the one thing I'd really like to point out on this slide is that the property taxes are going up $208,112, which is 3.5%. But if you look at that third line of numbers, it shows the pilots, which that's an acronym standing for payment in lieu of taxes. And the pilot collection, the taxes on the pilot collection are going down $67,601, and that is shifting up to the property tax line up above. So part of that $208,000 is really the $67,000 below shifting up into that number. So if you were to back that number out, there's really a $140,000 increase in the actual taxes. And so that would equate to 2.36%. So the taxes are going up 2.36%, but by law, we have to show that including the amount of money shifting from the pilots. And so it shows an overall increase of 3.5%. And those are the main differences and changes to revenue for this next year.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky this year with this pilot shifting basically onto our tax rolls. It looks like we're increasing taxes more than we are this year. So I guess that's good for our community to know. This chart shows where our revenues come from. Just over 58% of our revenue comes from state aid, whereas 0.26 of our revenue comes from federal aid. Local revenues make up 3.14%. We use our appropriated fund balance for an additional 4.5%, and our reserves cover 2.32% of this budget. That leaves us with just under 32% coming from property taxes and pilot agreements, again, payment in lieu of taxes, as seen in the pink. Looking at that pink portion, this is where we are required to count the STAR money that comes from the state. It's our true local share is closer to 23% from the local community.
Okay, this slide shows the three-part budget summary, and it might be a little bit confusing as you look at it. This breakdown into the three components is dictated to us by the state, we're required to show it to you in this format. And this is really where the majority of our activity in the district shows. So this is where we would show the general and special education programs, the BOCES programs, athletics, all the costs of our transportation services show here, and the library and technology programs. This part of the budget represents 74.11% of our total budget. It's an increase of $97,813 overall. Our next slide shows the capital component of the budget. And this is the area that we record our buildings and grounds expenses. It also includes the purchase of buses. This is where the $100,000 capital outlay exception project shows. And this represents 11.48% of our budget overall. There's no significant changes in this area of the budget. And then the third area, the administrative component, this slide shows really where we would record all of our Board of Education expenses, central office, school administration, as well as finances and central services. It's called administrative, but it's a little bit misleading because it has other expenses in it other than administration. There's also a significant portion of the professional development cost of the district in this area as well. And this represents 14.41% of our budget.
All of this information can be found in the budget newsletter that was sent out a couple days ago. These charts and graphs are in there. And if you did not receive a copy and would like one, please reach out to Mary Jo in the district office. All right, before we wrap things up, we'd like to know what else is included in this budget. We'd like you to know what's included in this budget. So this budget includes a capital outlay exception project, as we've spoken about. These have been referred to again as our $100,000 projects, as the scope of the work may not exceed that $100,000 amount. The project included in this budget will include door replacement and upgrades, as well as upgrades to our access controls, which are like the swipes that on the doors, and also some masonry restoration at the middle high school. It's anticipated that this project will be substantially reimbursed to the district by the state through building aid, which is currently set approximately 85%. The budget also includes the cost of the annual bus garage lease in the amount of $39,508. This is the first year of a 5-year renewable lease agreement, and the district will receive building aid reimbursement on this expense from New York State, which is also projected to be approximately 85%. When you come to the auditorium foyer to vote for the annual school budget vote on May 20th from noon to 8 p.m., you'll find these 4 propositions on the ballot this year. Proposition number 1 is the budget resolution. So voters will be asked to vote on the school district budget of $19,426,745 with a tax levy increase of 3.5%. Proposition 2 is the PCS board election. Voters will also elect candidates to the Board of Education. Callan Ayers Tillotson and Margaret Gaston, both incumbents, are running again for the board. You'll be asked to choose 2 candidates. You are voting on the tax levy for the Howardell Memorial Public Library, and they are looking to have voters authorize an increase from $132,600 to $138,600 for their tax levy. And finally, Proposition 4 is the election of the Howardell Memorial Public Library trustees. You'll be asked to vote for 2 candidates. Stephen Gould and Timothy Wazowitz are running for the library trustees. Timothy, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Voters will be asked to elect 2 candidates. Finally, we encourage you to come out and vote. Tuesday, May 20th, from noon to 8 p.m. Voting will happen in the Pavilion High School auditorium foyer. Eligible voters must have an ID. They must be 18 years of age or older, a U.S. citizen, and a legal resident of the district for at least 30 days prior to the election. So all the information is here. We encourage you, please come out and vote. And we appreciate your attention. Thank you. And we hope you found this very informative. We look forward to seeing you at the budget vote on May 20th.